Coming on?
Bring it on. Want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything. It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. When you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
You live with Omaha? I can promise you that. And it's purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down in my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
You're muted, Dave.
Welcome into the Sports Objective Bowl Innings on a Sunday night.
Does Dave sound right to you guys? To me, it's
Not one bit, Kyle. Not
Sounds
one
very
bit.
muffled.
Dave, your mic's off. There's something wrong with your mic. Welcome into the Sports Objective, guys.
I'm here.
All right, there we go.
For some reason, there was two audios playing at the same time. I'm not muted. Hello, I'm here.
You got lag now.
Well, kill the, if you have YouTube open, kill that.
This is a great start right here, guys.
It's the look on your face, Dave. Kyle, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, guys. Sports Objective.
I just went away.
Dave
We
is
all
having
did.
Dave is having technical difficulties. He will be back when those technical difficulties resolve. In the meantime, we welcome in the one and only Johnny Stats Robertson, Jr. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Definitely had better weekends, better days. Well, you know, we'll talk about it. I'd rather not, but we will. We'll trudge through it, and we'll try to figure out what's going on with these Pirates.
It is down to just me and JR now. Apparently, Alan Vick. I had my big introduction ready for Alan Vick, JR. Now I can't even use it.
Yeah, well, he'll be back.
Well, hopefully. Yeah, no, dude, it's been a horrible week, Pirate baseball. 1-3 for the week. You lose a heartbreaker at Duke on a walk-off free-run homer when you have the lead in the ninth on the road. You play well Friday night, get the dub. Saturday was a disaster. Today, you battle back. You have a 2-run lead in the bottom of the ninth. And again, just like at Duke, you can't hold on to it. You lose an extra innings. JR, to me, this team is playing tight. They don't look like they're having a lot of fun out there on the diamond. And I think that may be part of the problem. These guys are stressing. It's mental. Coach Godwin's a very intense guy. He's a great coach. This is not a knock against Coach Godwin, but you hear him with the media. He's a very intense guy, and I wonder, I don't know if his intensity, instead of the team, buying into that intensity in a positive, I wonder if they're almost playing too tight.
Kyle, excellent observation, because I feel the same way, only that, it's definitely not an indictment on Coach Godwin, because, he's proven that he's got the formula figured out for success, but maybe, things are changing a little bit. Maybe the new coaching staff isn't meshing quite as well. There's some tension there. He just seems overly agitated this year. And, the fact that he got thrown out today, I'm not holding that against him, because, he did what he had to do to try to rally the team. That wasn't today. That was yesterday. All these games are running together, but that was yesterday. And, I just feel like someone told me that they heard one of the players mention to their parents that it's not exactly a carefree attitude. It is a little uptight. So, I don't know if that's what's affecting the play or what it is, but there's something going on there where they're just not at optimum performance whatsoever. Pitching looked great.
And that was my theory, JR. And then you're saying that a player's parent mentioned that to you, and we won't get into players' names.
What they didn't mention to me. They mentioned it to somebody else that mentioned it to me. But yeah, I don't want to get into that at all any further. And I certainly wouldn't put it out there if I didn't, in fact, hear it. But it makes you wonder. And hopefully everything. I thought this weekend, to be honest with you, I heard that before this weekend, and I thought, hey, you know what? Curious that. Taking 2 out of 3 from UTSA, and then we won the first game. And I still said, you know what? I'm not going to be greedy here. I still want, a sweep would be awesome, but let's go for 2 out of 3 at least. And we were so darn close.
Yeah, every opportunity to win today, and should have won today. And now we'll welcome back in, Alan. I have the introduction ready for you, and then you popped out, so I'm going to do it now, Dave. I'm not to step on you here, but welcome in North Carolina radio veteran of over 30 years. I don't know, 40 years. He was around when they invented transistor radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Vick.
Thank you.
He's related to Marconi.
Hey, I was hanging out with Marconi, and he's doing fine, by the way. He says hello. But it's great to be here tonight, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, by the way, I'm sorry, guys. I figured out, I'll tell you guys in chat what happened. But anyway, all is good as far as that now. I had 2 sources of audio, and I figured it out. So we're all good. I thought about Kyle and Alan and Johnny. You guys are all music fans. Susan Tedeschi has a song called "It Hurts So Bad." That's the way that I felt today. I just knew we were going to win that game. And then it's like there's like a responsibility, just like when the Patriots were winning all the time. They had this thing where they were talking about the responsibility of winning. It can also work the other way around. And it almost felt like today it was like, here we go again. We're down 5-0. We come back and we're up 7-5. I wasn't cocky at all, because you still have to put them out, right? But it kind of felt like, here we go again, right?
Well, to me, it's like what me and JR were discussing. We're playing tight.
Yep.
You're not going to win games. You're not going to win tight games when you're playing tight baseball. You're just not going to. And we're not good in close games. And anytime, to me, that always indicates playing tight. Now, I'm no expert. I will stand on my expertise in college football versus anybody, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm a college baseball expert. But I do know sports in general, and I do know you can't win tight games playing tight. And I think instead of rolling with momentum and taking the momentum into the bottom of the ninth, when one little thing went wrong, we let it snowball. And then, we didn't seem to have much confidence in the extra innings. I mean, you could just see us trying to hang on. And, some of that is the pitching depth for sure. Some of that's definitely just simply pitching depth, being down 2 starters. Maybe some of our relievers aren't performing. We're asking them to perform, pitch way longer than they should be having to.
Right.
But so it's not all just playing tight. Some of this is the pitching situation.
Well, but the thing is too, though, that we were down 5-0, right? But I'm just wondering what's going on with why are we're almost into April, and you see that we have the talent. We definitely have the talent. This is definitely not I will say this is definitely not a talent deficiency. We have great coaching. We have the great of everything. So
I don't think we have a lot of power on this team. At least it hasn't shown it yet, JR. I don't know your thoughts on that, but that is one place I do think we're lacking in the talent department. I don't think we hit for a lot of power.
I think we do. It hasn't shown itself yet. I mean, our home run leader is Grady Linehan, and we know Austin Irby and Colby proved last season, that they're capable of double-digit home runs. It hasn't happened yet. Maybe, it'll click at some point, but yeah, power-wise, I think South Florida is way, way, way at the bottom. Other than them, like everybody has more home runs than us. But I will say this: I do want to give credit to the Pirates this weekend for one thing, and that is, people don't realize UTSA, what kind of numbers they've been running up offensively, and they've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They played 7 series before this one, and the fewest runs that they had scored was 27 against New Mexico State. We held them to 14. And the fewest hits that they've been held to is 32, which was Dallas Baptist. We held them to 18 hits. So 18 hits, 14 runs over 3 games for UTSA is phenomenal. And you know, at one point they didn't score in like 15 innings.
Pitching staff did enough, particularly Friday and yesterday. Even though yesterday was the most lopsided game, it won't because of the pitching. And today they gave up some runs, but for the most part we answered. So no, you really, with the pitching depth issues we have at the starter, you know, in the rotation, I think our pitching staff really wasn't. Today they were a bit of the problem, particularly when we got into, you know, extras. You could tell we were hesitant to go into the pen more. But besides that, you really you can't really. The pitching staff, I think, did enough this weekend. You guys, can you hear me? I got a phone call. The pitching staff did enough this weekend, considering the situation.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. We've got to be able to hit, and we're popping up a lot of pitch. And just.
Did we lose?
Yeah, I don't know what's. This is a crazy technical night.
Yeah, we lost you there, Dave, for just a second. But now you seem to be back. You froze there for just a second.
I was just talking about with our at bats. I don't have time to go back and look at the game, but we need to make sure we're looking at taking every bat seriously, because it seems like we're wasting a lot of at bats.
Well, I want to address what Kyle was talking about, because I do feel like it, even though our pitching, based on the stats I just threw out there, pitching did very well for what we, threw out there. But, we didn't see Gavin Van Kempen, of course, and we didn't see Colby Weber. But, I mean, is Brett Antolik, is he hurt too? I mean, I know he didn't have a fantastic outing his last time out, but, I mean, we didn't see him at all. Luke Payne warmed up a couple of times. So I'm not going to read too much into that. He was available. Nick Moran must still have soreness. We didn't have him either. And, Alex Boucher is coming in to try to save the game. And I made a comment a couple weeks ago that Alex Boucher is not really a pitcher. He did okay against Penn, but he's not really someone you want to depend on. Well, I'm probably wrong about that. I mean, clearly Cliff has way more confidence in him than I thought he did, and probably with good cause, because he did pitch fairly well yesterday. He pitched 2 real good innings until he gave up the home run. But today it just took 1 pitch from him, and the game was over. So, I was surprised that we never went with Brett Antolik or like I said, I guess that the lefty Nick Moran is still on the IR for some reason temporarily. So, I mean, I don't even know what we have available. That's part of the frustration, trying to figure out, how we can get through this pitching shortage, is to figure out who we have available. And I have not been able to do that. And they don't tell us anything. So,
yeah. And one thing that would help that, guys, is to score more runs. Today that wasn't the situation. We lost in the bottom of the ninth with a 2-run cushion. So the day the bats did their job, but yesterday, we couldn't get anything going offensively. But I don't know. We're in a bad situation, and you got Wilmington and Charlotte coming to town, a 4-game series, or not a 4-game series, 4 games this week for in-state bragging rights, and a conference series. And I mean, you go 1-3 this week, things are going to start getting ugly in Greenville with the fan base. And to be clear, when I say it's starting to get ugly in Greenville with the fan base, ain't nobody calling for Cliff Godwin's head. And if you are, you're an idiot. So make that very clear when we say about, when we're being critical, when we're saying things, because that's going to be kind of the tone if we keep losing, and the tone of the fan base. But nobody is talking about firing Cliff Godwin. If they are, they're complete idiots. Cliff Godwin has one of the best reputations in college baseball and a track record of success, and I have no doubt he'll get it fixed. But right now, and he may we may end up in a situation where we have to win the conference tournament like we did last year to make it in. There's still enough baseball left to be played where we can do enough in the regular season to make it in, but it has to start this week. And we can't keep losing close games, JR, because we're a hair close to being 3-1 on the week, or 3-1 on the week, beating Duke midweek and taking 2 out of 3 against UTSA and feeling great about things.
Yeah, our 3 of our last 5 losses have been by 1 run, and we play an insane amount of tight games. Like, we played 29 games, and 10 of them have been 1-run games or a tie. In the case of the Carolina game, and we've won 4.
That Carolina game is coming to bite us in the tail.
Yeah, well, we're 4-5-1 in those games. That's 35% of your schedules. It's 1-run games. You got, like you said, Kai, we got to find a way to win those games. And
we're playing so damn tight.
Yeah,
and again, I think, I don't know. I think sometimes I don't think we're making the right decisions in the bullpen and not pull. We let what's his damn name that gave up the 2 runs in the 9th. Help me out, guys. I'm horrible with names.
Was it Rose?
No. Oh, you're talking about tonight, Joe Webb?
Yeah, Webb. We let him stay in entirely too long.
Webb.
He definitely gave it everything he had, but maybe it was time to go elsewhere.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where we didn't have a choice. We wouldn't have normally left him in, and we wouldn't have gone to Alex Boucher unless we absolutely.
Yeah, well, you may be right, Dave, and that's what JR was kind of alluding to earlier. We don't know. So many of these guys aren't listed as injured. We don't know where the hell they are.
Right.
So it makes logical sense that that's who we had to throw. But who else was up in the bullpen besides Boucher?
Payne.
Yeah.
Payne was up. Yeah. Payne.
Okay.
Those two they've been up together a lot lately, which they never have put Luke Payne in, and I'd like to see what he can do, but Alex Boucher, like I said, 1 pitch. Here's what we got to stop doing, and I think, Kyle, this comes from being tight. I really do. Okay, we played 10 innings today. 5 of their 10 leadoff hitters, we either walk or hit them with a pitch, or they got a base hit.
Great, JR. That's an obvious point that we haven't spoke about. Yes, that's killing us on the pitching mound.
390s.
And 4 of those 5 leadoff batters that got on base scored, and the one that didn't score was in the first inning. And the only reason he didn't score, it was Caden Miller led off the game with a walk, and then he got thrown out at the plate because it was a fantastic play. It was Matt Lashley threw it to Carlos for the first out, and then Carlos threw it to AI, and then AI threw it directly home because he saw the guy going for home plate. It was a bullet. It was a great tag by Walker Barron, and it was a perfect play. And I was like, yes, this is how this game's going to go. We got some luck on our side, and the break's going our way, and executing very well. And that guy, he's the only leadoff base runner that didn't score. The other 4 all did.
Yeah, and you're right. You talk about walks and hitting and hitting batters. Well, I'd rather give up a home run than walk somebody or hit them with a pitch in most situations. It bothers me so bad to just give free base runners. They always come back to bite you, and when you do it multiple times in a row, like we did in this game, that's a great point, JR, and something very obvious that should have been spoke to already, honestly. But yeah, and that goes back to playing tight. Those are the kind of things you do when you're tight, when you're worried about giving up a homer, and you're pitching tight.
Yeah. Now, hey, their pitchers were in a similar situation. They had guys out there that weren't used to being, in those situations. So we took advantage of the same thing. We had 4 leadoff batters get on base. 3 of them scored, but we had 3 batters hit in the 7th inning. Grady led off the inning, got hit by a pitch. Then AI got hit by a pitch. and then Davin got hit by a pitch. All three of them scored. So if they weren't hitting us with pitches, we would have never got back in the game. We scored 5 runs, and we only had 2 hits to score 5 runs because the rest was errors. They had 3 errors, a walk, 3 hit by pitches. So it wasn't all our bats that was doing it there to get us back in that game. They were helping us out as much as they could.
Bad base running for Colby at third hurt us. That was.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know if he got sent. It was I think they thought the ball got away from the catcher more than it did.
Right. That's correct.
So he took off for third, and their catcher just Stuckey. It was an easy play for him to throw it down to third. Yeah, I don't know if that was Colby or somebody gave him the go sign. I'm not sure.
Are we getting any chance anybody's back this week, JR? Or do we have any idea, Dave Allen?
Have not heard anything about any potential returns, no.
And hey, while you're talking about that, Kyle, I thought it was really, really weird that we had Nick Parham playing shortstop in game 1. We won that game. And then game 2, Nick played shortstop again. But then, today it was Lashley. Lashley pinch hit in game 1. So I thought for sure, okay, he's going to start game 2, no doubt. But he didn't. And Nick Parham's good with the glove, but he's not, he doesn't have the same bat that Matt Lashley does. So I felt like against San Antonio, we needed all the bat we could get. So I was surprised that Matt Lashley didn't start either game 1 or 2, and then he did start today, and he was over 3. But so,
I'm sorry, JR. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. So there's another example of we just don't know what injury statuses are, and I guess that's how a lot of programs are, a lot of coaches are, but it's frustrating.
No doubt. John White says Marconi during the transmission of SOS from the Titanic, Alan. We were talking about earlier with Marconi.
Yes. I was there, saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Okay. We already talked about the bad base running. John White says, don't remind us, that would have been a 3-1 count too if he had stayed put. The ball didn't go far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, guys, we're just not doing the little things, and that was one of the hallmarks of a Cliff Godwin baseball team for so long is the fundamentals, and they were going to do the little things, and you're going to win the 1-run games more than you lost them because it was a Godwin hallmark of a Godwin team. But last couple of years it has not been. We're not doing the little things. We're scuffling. We're losing games that we would have normally won over the last couple of years with the little small ball things that aren't going well.
It's just hard to teach that kind of culture of doing the little things right within the portal age. I don't know. Like I said, I think maybe that's some of this is Cliff's using the portal. I just think it's the adjusting. Again, maybe I'm wrong on this, but maybe just he's not able to build things from scratch like he used to for everything. Kind of ECU baseball teams have always kind of the ones that have been great under Cliff have had his personality, if that makes sense.
Yep. This team does not have a defined leader on the field. They got good players and good kids, but there's no go-to player that when the chips are down is rallying the troops. We don't have that leader on the field this year. I don't think that we need when games are tight and you need to make a play here and a play there or settle down in a certain situation. I don't see that this year.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I mean, and I'm not saying it's not there, but I'm like you. It doesn't come across on the TV that there's anybody out there that's really the team leader, take charge kind of guy, like the field general, if you will.
Drew Bassnight says always seems like 0-2 counts, or we're ahead in the count and hit by pitch or whatnot.
That the senator?
Yeah, good point, Drew. That's true. That makes it twice as bad.
The Senator Bassnight?
Drew Bass. I don't think he's a senator.
No, he's not.
Is Senator Bassnight dead?
Yes, he is.
Well, it wouldn't be him then.
Yeah, Phil Bassnight.
Yeah. Joshua Pruitt says the term walk-off will come to define the season. Here's one for you, Kyle. Drew says, can we have a spring football show next week to cheer us up?
I don't know about next week, but we'll have one at some point. When is the spring game?
Spring game is the 18th of April.
Okay, maybe we'll do one that weekend. We talk some football. There's a lot of question marks there. I tell you, I love Blake's attitude in the press conference. His spring press conference, and that's something we'll talk about later in the show. But if you haven't listened to that, you need to.
Yeah.
He's sitting there in a complete rebuild and talking about winning the conference championship. Yeah. And so he's putting it all out there, and I applaud him for it. And we'll see what happens.
And I'm not. Go ahead, Alan. I'm sorry.
I'll say, Blake is very transparent as you can be, in this day and age, and that's. I think people respond to that. Just having a coach that's not up there just going through the motions, saying the same thing over and over and over and over. You got a guy who's just being a regular guy, and on top of that, he's winning. So that makes a huge difference. It really does.
I think Blake is one of those people that we're seeing, and this will really tell the tale because this is all his, from the coaching staff to the players. He built this entire thing, but I think Blake may be one of those guys that's a lot smarter than people realize he is.
That is 100% accurate, Kyle. And I tell you why, because we talked about it before. If we were all hanging out at a barbecue, or if we're at the baseball game and Blake shows up, he don't try to distance himself and be the VIP. I'm the head coach of East Carolina. He doesn't let it get to his head. He's very grounded. He is one of us. And that's the thing. There's a lot of things like we talked about the last show, but Blake is willing to talk to big donors. He's willing to do parties, hang out, do whatever to sell his program. And I think that is really, really been, in fact, Drew says Blake is a hell of a person. Absolutely. You're spot on, Drew. We were pulling hard for him when he took over as interim coach because he's such a good guy. But we know that it takes more than being a good guy to have
I knew he could motivate. That was something that when we took over as head coach that I picked up on right away, and that's why I kind of, if everybody remembers, I said hide and watch several times because I knew he'd be able to motivate that team. And my question was, he earned it, so I wanted him to get hired. My question was, could he do it the next season when it was just a motivating situation? And He did. And then you look at this past offseason, I like his hires on paper. We'll see if he made the right hires, and we'll see if they made the right decisions in the portal. This is going to be all his team. But we'll talk about that more later. We need to get back to baseball.
Yeah, in fact, Turtle Boy says, do we need to move some money around for football and try to hit the transfer portal with the money? Talking about baseball.
With the money. Yeah. You mean for baseball?
Yeah.
No, we can't take away from football. What we need to do is spend more on football, so football wins at a higher level, so we're creating more revenue. Then we'll have more money to give to baseball and basketball.
Yes, but at the same time,
there is nothing that's going to create more money. You get East Carolina into the playoffs in college football. There's nothing. If a team has a run for the playoffs, from it from game 1, game 2, like we're red hot. You're going to see every game pretty much sold out, and nothing will make more money. So yeah, you put more money in football. The better football is, the more money we'll have to spend on everything else.
That is
but you don't take money away from football. We got to create more money to spend on basketball and baseball.
Right. I'm not saying, and let me be very clear. I agree with what Kyle's saying. You don't take away from football. What you do is you've got to put more of an emphasis on basketball, and you have to get the dudes in for baseball. We have a good team. I think the difference is that there's some players that we're not getting. And we've got to be, and I know that coach doesn't like it, so I'm not trying to start an argument with him but for me personally, we are in rev share right now. And if we need to get, right now, if you said, how much is it going to cost to get these players to come into East Carolina baseball, same thing with basketball, then we need to do it. If it's $10 million, $5 million, whatever amount, I want to win. And let me tell you something. My coach said to us seniors in baseball, He said, Mike Perrell, God rest his soul, I miss him a lot. My former baseball.
Did you say 10 million or 5 million? Were you talking about baseball?
Yeah, my high school baseball.
Oh, no. 10 million or 5 million. Were you talking about baseball with that?
Well, whatever we have to spend.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't take me nowhere near that for baseball.
Well, I'm talking what I'm getting at. We're used to getting the dudes, the big time, like the Agnoses of the world, those kind of guys, those kind of players that come in. And I think that there's a few of those guys we're missing on. I could be dead wrong, but I do believe that we're going to have to spend money on baseball, on those players to win at the level we're used to. I think that we're so close right now. It might be one dude, it might be two dudes. I'm not saying that we're missing out on a whole bunch of players. I'm not saying that talent evaluation is off at East Carolina. No. I'm not saying that. So let me be very clear.
It's definitely not at the high school level.
But we're going to have to I'm going to have to, that's one of those things. My point was my high school coach said, when you get tired of losing, you find a way to win. And I think that comes from the fan base. I think that comes from.
Well, I mean, we're not. Look, the baseball program's not. We just went to the NCAA tournament last year. I mean, and we still may make it this year. It's not like we've fallen apart.
No.
But we don't need to get to the point where we're falling apart. Whether if we need to spend more money on baseball, we need to figure out a way to spend more money on baseball. But it just can't come at the expense of football. And it really can't come at the expense of basketball because we can't afford to spend less than basketball. So there are enough people that love baseball that will give directly to baseball. To make sure we have some more money to spend on that on players.
Yeah, and that's what just like what Garrett Blackwater did for, and maybe John White and some others that follow the program really close.
I get it that way, but I think we would have a different tone. Everybody would. If I'm not making excuses, but Braxton Trammell is a huge. That was just a huge hit. I mean, and we talked about lack of power. Well, he was leading the conference in home runs when him and Boucher had that collision. And I mean, if we had him, that's somebody that we did recruit, or we did get him in here, but he's not available. And now with these two pitchers, hopefully they'll be back sooner than later. But I'm not making excuses.
Is Braxton out for the year?
Who's that?
Braxton. He's out for the year, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's official, but I think it's written in stone that it would be probably foolish to bring him back before then. He's definitely going to redshirt.
You have Conley, you have Rose, and you have South Central. That three of the top high school teams in the state for baseball recruit those teams. Is what Drew's saying.
We got Dixon, but yeah, I agree, Drew. I agree.
Basketball is more so than baseball, but yeah, I agree with you, Drew. Drew was asking, is Vogely done for the year? We needed his power.
I don't think so. I think he is.
He will come back. I have not heard.
Again, we don't know. Thank you. That's another one I didn't even mention because I forgot about him.
How important? Go ahead, Jared. I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to say he's out of my mind because I just don't know. I just consider he's not available until I hear differently. And he's a great kid. I hope to get him back.
How important is this coming week to the remainder of the baseball season? I mean, I look at it, I think, and I know, JR, you disagree with me. I think if we beat Wilmington, I think if you take two from Charlotte being one of the better teams in the league, that's fine. You got to get some sweeps later when you're playing Rice and Tulane and Memphis and Wichita, these bad teams. You got to sweep them. But I think if we go do you think we got to go 4-0 this week? I think 3-1.
Here's what I think, Kyle.
3-1.
I think that the Wilmington game, if you're going to lose one of those, it has to be the Wilmington game, and I don't want to do that. But we have to sweep Charlotte because it's a home series. We haven't won a series at all since March of last year against Rice, and we've never started the season.
You mean swept
a home series, since March of last season against Rice. But
Charlotte took the series from South Florida this weekend, didn't they?
Yeah. Everybody is 4-2 or 3-3 or 2-4.
Yeah, that's something to mention. With everything that's going on, we're a game out of first.
Yeah, but does it matter if you win the conference? Winning the conference doesn't guarantee you anything. Like you could win.
No, it'll help. It'll help your resume. If you win the conference, you've done and you get some midweek games, you're going to be a bubble team.
Yeah, we got to
Oh,
sweep
man.
though. We've never started since the 2017 season when
I
we
don't think we
didn't.
have to sweep. I think
Yeah,
if you go 2-1 against them, 2-1 against
no.
South Florida, 2-1 against Florida Atlantic, and then sweep Wichita, sweep Tulane, sweep Memphis, and then take care of business in the midweek, I think we get in
I don't
without having to
know.
win the conference tournament.
I would like to hear what people out there think because I feel like we need to sweep Charlotte because it's a home series.
I'd rather sweep
honest,
them.
our margin for error is getting very small.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to start taking every weekend series, and we got to start winning midweek games. We can't keep losing close games. Right now, like I say, we're a couple of runs away from feeling really great about this week.
Yeah.
If we
But,
went 3-1, if we went 3-1 this week, our RPI would probably be up in the 30s now.
Yeah,
It
that's
would because it went up to 43. Went up to 43 after that game 1 win.
what I was saying. Sorry, John.
No, I was just going to say, Dave, that we've never started since 2017 when we didn't make a regional. We've never started out a season 3-3 in conference like we are now, ever. We were 6-0 last season. We were 6-0 in 21, 4-2 in the rest of them. So we've never been 3-3. That's why I feel like we just have to sweep Charlotte, and it's not even likely. I don't think that it's an easy task. I don't even think that we'll do it. But I feel like we need to. But that's my feelings.
I'd rather sweep Charlotte, but I don't think that the season. I don't think that the seasons. I don't think by not sweeping Charlotte, if we go 3-1 this week, that we're in a situation at that point where we're going to have to. There's nothing else we can do in the regular season to make the NCAAs without having to win the conference tournament. I mean, there's still plenty of baseball left to be played. Now, you go 1-3 this week or 0-4, you're done.
Yeah.
You're going to have to win the conference tournament.
Yeah, I was going to say, guys, we're down. We're just over. Johnny, help me, but I believe off the top of my head, we are at 29.
We're over halfway.
Yep. So we have 27 games left. That was one of my questions tonight. I'm going to put Alan Vick on the spot. How many games do you think we have to win out of the 27?
What's our record right now?
We are
16,
11, or 16, excuse me, 16, 12, and 1.
12.
I think we got to win 20.
16, 12, and 1. And out of the last 27, I'd say 19 minimum.
Oh my! To do what? To get into a regional?
Yeah, I'll say 20.
Yeah,
I say 23.
You think we got to get 39 wins to get into a regional?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
This is a different time, Kyle. We don't rule the roost anymore.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good teams out there.
36 wins with the schedule we have remaining. Regular season wins. I count what we do in the conference tournament now. With the schedule we have remaining, we would be probably, if not top 25 RPI, we'd be really near it.
Turtle asked, that was the Carolina game, Turtle. He's from Greensboro, where I was born. Turtle Boy live.
You're talking about wins over Wilmington, South Florida, Charlotte, NC State, Duke, Campbell. I mean, that if you go 20-7 during that period, there's no way we're not pushing top 25 RPI.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, Kenny says this right, and he's right. 36 will not get you in. My magical number.
I disagree, man. I disagree. I think with the schedule we play.
I think the magical number I always look for us to have a good season. I look at the 40 number. So
40, you're in hosting position.
Yeah, we're going to have to go on quite the run to get to 40 wins. That's just, I don't think that's going to be attainable. I
think it probably isn't, and especially with our pitching in the situation that it is.
So you think we need 38 in the regular season to get in, JR?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I do one of my things I do is I break down for the last, I guess, 7 seasons, maybe even 8, what every team had to do that made it as an at-large. I looked at all their resumes, and I know that our resume needs to be like way, way, way better than what it is.
Right, what 12-7 is a stretch based on pitch. Yeah, he's saying to even get there 12.
Yeah,
John, do you think it's 12-7, 36 wins? Do you think we would be in, or do you think we would be in? We would be a bubble team, or we would be out?
Justin's saying 35.
Justin says 35 wins gets us in. Wow, I say 36. I want to know what John White thinks.
He says not enough consistency on both sides, offense, pitching, and defense.
Yeah, he don't even think we're going to get to 20 and 7. Well, all right, JR, what if we go? What if we get to 36, finish second in the conference, and make the semifinals of the tournament?
Says if we did 20 and 7, he says that we're in.
So he thinks 20 and 7 we're in also with 36 wins.
Yeah. He's just saying he doesn't see us going 20 and 7 because of.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
You're doing all you can. Put yourself in a position to not have to win the conference tournament to get in. I mean, and that's where we're right on. We have no margin for error much anymore.
Yeah, I think you get to 36 wins and then you don't go 2 in barbecue. You at least win 2 in the conference tournament. And with that funky Cole Medina format, I mean, finishing in the top 4 becomes imperative.
What I was going to ask you guys, thank you, Kyle. I was going to ask you guys, I think last week, a sidebar really fast. What do you think about that new format?
I've eaten dinner, but if you want to have a salad bar really fast, we can do that.
Okay.
You said salad bar really fast.
What?
He took your sidebar and made it a
sidebar. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sidebar. What is the new format?
Alan, I think if you have to explain a joke, it's not funny. But
moderately funny.
The new format. Okay. If you finish or JR or anybody who knows it, somebody in chat, JR, if you know it, correct me if I'm wrong. First and second gets a first and second round bye. Third and fourth gets a first round bye.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the ACC tournament does it now in basketball.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing.
So a double bye if you finish in the top 2. Third and fourth you get a first round bye. So basically, if you don't finish in the top 4, you ain't winning unless you get red hot.
All right, Kenny says 36 plus 4, and I guess he says 36 wins in the regular season and 4 in the tourney. Is that what you're saying, Kenny? That's what
isn't 4 wins in the tourney means you win the tournament?
Darn close to it, if not.
Yeah, well, if we finish in
it would for us.
Yeah. I think 36 wins and just don't go 2 in barbecue in the tournament. And you may be nervous on selection day, but
let's not forget our past resumes, our fan base, the history, the culture, the respect. And if we're on the bubble, and if we're on that bubble, I say we're probably on the right side of that bubble.
I hope we're at least having that discussion at this point because yeah.
Doug Groom asked, was D'Lo pitching as well going forward as he did on Saturday? Could that be a difference, or was we just lucky? I think he's a kid that's got a lot of I've always said I like him personally and professionally as far as a baseball player. I think he's has a lot of ups and downs, just being consistent. And so I'm hoping that, Doug, to answer your question from my vantage point, I'm pulling really hard for him, and I was happy about that yesterday, even though we didn't win. But I'm happy. I'm hoping that this is a trend where he's very focused and not having the inconsistency of the past. I hope we can leave that in the rear view. And he's an upperclassman. He's got a lot. I still believe in him and think he has a lot of potential. And if not, I think if they didn't, obviously, this stating the obvious thing of the whole night, if they didn't have any confidence in him, he wouldn't be on the team. You know who Cliff Godwin is. If he didn't have value coming out of the bullpen, he wouldn't be on our team. I just feel like that way, and I hope that I hope he continues to grow and get better. We need him. If there's ever been a time, hey, now's your chance. Here's your chance for D'Lo.
I want to add something about D'Lo. The Xavier series. After that, we didn't see him for a long time, and he was, he left that game, and they said it was a possible injury, but they didn't really go into any depth on that. But I didn't know that we would even see him come back, and he's come back twice, once at William and Mary, and then at UTSA, and he's only allowed 2 hits in 4 innings with 5 strikeouts. But get this, no walks. We all know that was his, kryptonite last season. He walked way too many people. So the fact that he's got 5 strikeouts, no walks, and has only given up 2 hits in 4 innings, I mean, he's got a 2.25 ERA at this point. So yeah, I hope to see much more of him, and I'll be happy to see him come out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We get to talk, but we say every time we do this show that this upcoming week is huge. But hey, all kidding aside, this upcoming week is massive, absolutely massive. But we came back today. Can you, even though you lost and it sucks, can you take some momentum from being down 5-0, getting it tied back up? The team showed some fight. It showed some grit. Can you take that moving forward, turn that into a positive, and go on a decent winning streak, from here? That's what you got to do.
Drew says the live RPI, Johnny, is 52. Just need to win games, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I think if there's still enough baseball to be played where 36 is somewhere around there. I think we'll be high enough in the RPI where we, bare minimum.
There's a caveat to that, though. We are 52 because we actually gained points in the games that we lost to UTSA, because UTSA is, that was on the road. But at Charlotte at home, that's why I say we have to sweep, because losing to Charlotte at home, our RPI is going to drop. And then to get, it takes a long time.
RPI currently?
Oh, it's not good. I mean, it used to be. It was at one point. I think it's 58 now or 59. But we're playing them at their place, so that's not tier one.
We're playing them in Greenville.
No, I mean we're playing. Yeah, we're playing at home, so that's not a tier one. We're playing at our place, which really puts the pressure on that you have to win at home. You just have to. You have to win at home.
Yeah, that's going to be this week. Anytime you have a homestand, talk about that. We got to win those games, and literally with Wilmington on the clock Tuesday night, guys, just focus. That's all we can control right now. We got to find a way to win that game. Not to say that I'm not saying that, like it's a rivalry game like CAA, obviously the Charlotte games are more important as far, like you said, but at the same time, we also need to have a big win against Wilmington. It doesn't matter who the team is. We just got to have a win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is definitely some rivalry there. I mean, that hasn't gone away completely.
No, but I'm saying,
but you're right. It wouldn't matter if it was Wilmington or if it was, William and Mary. We can't afford to lose. We need to be very selective with our losses going forward.
Yeah, we cannot lose. And Turtle Boy says we cannot lose to Charlotte. If we do, I'll be disappointed. We should win at home. Wilmington is going to be a tough one. Absolutely, of course. Let's see. John White said Troy towed the 50 RPI line, and we'll probably bounce by EC winning American tournament, mid-40s RPI, and a couple wins in tourney, and cross fingers or win tournament again and remove all doubt. Yeah. I mean, we've just got to win. I mean, it's easy as that is. It's not easy.
Well, it is easy. I have a stat that'll show you how easy it is to win.
Okay, go.
So
you get one more point than the other team.
Well, one more run. If we score in the first, second, or third inning, we're 17-0. If we don't score in the first, second, or third inning, we're 0-9. So how about that?
Really?
I don't mean we're 17-0. Every one of our 17 wins we've scored a run in the first three innings, in every one of our 17 wins.
That shows me we win games when we score early and can play looser.
That could be. There you go, Kyle. Because when we don't score in the first three innings, we're 0-9.
Drew says, hopefully Norby is back. This is something I wanted to ask you guys. So thank you, Drew, we have the best viewers and listeners, and we're the best fans because we're in Pirate Nation. Jenkins needs to start Saturday moving forward. I know that we have a bullpen situation, where we like having him come out. I was thinking about him this weekend.
He's great. The problem is he doesn't pitch as well as a starter. He gets in his head. He pitches better coming out of the pen. I don't know what you do with that. He's clearly starting caliber, but and that was he he was one of the top high school recruits in America when we got him, and he's more effective coming out of the pen. I don't know what you do with that. I agree. Logically he should be starting, but
Cliff already said he's not doing that.
yeah, because he gets in his head too much.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't.
Yeah, there's a reason why
when you got a kid who has said that, who has said it publicly that he prefers the bullpen because he gets in his head as a starter. I don't know what you do with that. You do like you did today and bring him in the second.
4 home games, and every one of them is a must-win for the team. That's what Kenny says, no doubt. This is I want to get John White, because John's been with us for a long, long time, and I love this. He says this is getting old. We typically are locked for the NCAA tourney, not the same. And John, I want to get your feeling. You being a pitcher, you being a former player, one of the best teams ever, and obviously with Coach O. How do you guys, as former players, feel watching the games now, knowing that we're so, when Alan was talking about earlier about the little things, and John agreed as well, he's right. My parents talked about the little things. So what is that we're disconnected on, that we're not criticizing the team or saying bad about the team, but what is it that's missing the different? Because you see, as Kyle's talked about, the difference between 1 and 3 that we are this weekend, and we're so close, razor thin close to being 3 and 1. What's the difference? What are the little intangibles that we're maybe not seeing? Here's a great one. John. Okay. I like this, John. He says, use an opener. So in other words, get a guy to come in a couple innings. And that's
what we did today.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Game 2, we were 5 run downs, 13 pitches into the game. Well, not quite that, but we gave up 13 hits in the first. We gave up 5 hits in the first 13 pitches, and all of those, everybody scored. So by the time, we cleared the bases, we were down 5-0. And then everybody came in and just did great. Marley and D'Lo, they combined 6 innings, 1 hit together, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. And then, AB came in and pitched 2 good innings, struck out 3, and then gave up that home run. So I think the recipe is a tag team, just like UTSA is doing that. They don't have starters. The Friday night guy, they
lost early, right? They lost him early with injury.
Yeah, they lost him early. But if you look at who their Friday, Saturday, and Sunday starters have been the last 3 series, it's different every week. And today their starter stayed in for 1 inning. And he shut us down. He he shut us down 1, 2, 3, but they put in somebody else. So it's like
those guys look to be having fun. I watched the UTSA's team body language, and they were at home. They look to be having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Drew says, look at the top teams now in baseball. NIL is more of an asset in baseball, I believe. And I think that Kyle mentioned this a few years ago, so I'm going to give you credit, Kyle. But when he and I were first talking about NIL, and we were very upset anyway, we learned quickly that that's where you have to go, right? So you said, Kyle, the first sport that's going to affect, which was true, was football. And then we noticed basketball was, basketball is basketball. But it's kind of trickled now to baseball in the last 2 or 3 years that we've noticed that but
here's the thing. And I agree with all that. But look, are we outspending everybody else in this conference in baseball? If we are, then we should have, in theory, being we do have a good coaching staff, the best roster. And we should be outspending everybody else in this conference in baseball.
Yeah.
So then we shouldn't have any issues. Your midweek games are going to be what they are. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But it's not just a spending issue. It's not like we're spending the same amount and now we're playing in the Big 12. So as long as we're spending more than everybody else in baseball on our roster, that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, I think that there's just about what we talked about. I do agree with you, because we are spending. Am I wrong on that, Johnny? I'm pretty confident we are number 1 in spending.
We have to be, if not very close to the top. How does UTSA get players? Their roster is loaded. That stadium is worse than high school stadiums that I've seen in North Carolina.
They fans come out. How many does the stadium hold? I mean, they had a decent. The atmosphere was way better than some places.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but I told you the biggest crowd they've had so far is 1,079.
Okay,
I don't know what they had today. I'll check and see what they had
right.
today.
But if the park holds 1,500, they need a nicer park. It doesn't have to be bigger. It just has to be nicer.
Yeah,
definitely nicer. But if you look at their roster, a lot of Texas kids. So that's one advantage they have. They're getting Texas kids. They're not going to A&M and Texas.
Drew says the lefty guy, is it Hoagland? Seems like a beast.
Yeah. 2.1 innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. He got the job done. He really did.
Yeah, I was surprised today we didn't play the lefty late in the game. Boucher in.
Kenny and I feel the same way.
I'm just trying to figure out if this team about to take off or fall apart.
That's how I feel, Kenny.
Yeah, right now it could go either way.
Turtle Boy says, I've been a member of the Pirate Club for 25 years. I graduated in 96. So Turtle Boy, you graduated a year after me. And I also give money to NIL, and it seems nobody appreciates my giving. No emails, nothing from the administration.
Turtle Boy, welcome to the club, my friend. We do we give to we give to the Pirate Club. We give to NIL. Dave gives at a really high level, and we all give to NIL. At least I think we all do. So we don't get recognized either, and we do a podcast. Hell, half the time the administration doesn't even want to come on our show anymore. They used to get everybody, but since we happen to be critical every now and then, and maybe sometimes, and I'm trying to get better at that. Maybe sometimes I'm over the top, or have been in the past, with my criticalness and use colorful language when criticizing, and I'm trying to get more grown up with my criticism.
You're doing good.
Well, thank you. I'll still cuss though, but I am trying to get more. I'm still trying to get. I'm trying to get more grown up with my criticism. So but the point to Turtle Boy is, don't just look at it like I look at it. You're doing it because you love ECU. Everybody else, in our administration, for the most part, didn't go to ECU. They didn't grow. I didn't go to ECU. They didn't grow up in Eastern North Carolina. They have no ties to the university. They're just working here, and they're paid pirates. And so, don't worry about it. You support the university, and at some point in time, we're going to have people there and I heard John Gilbert recently, and somebody clip this coming up. I heard John Gilbert talking recently on an interview. I believe it was with Holton. Holton asked him about why people didn't reach out, and he said it's a staffing issue. Well, you maybe don't trust Kyle from LaGrange, although you should, but you can trust Dave Richmond. You can trust Alan Vick. You can trust Johnny Robertson. You can trust Bubba Rosenbaum. We're not going to ask any money. Give us some numbers that you want us to call. Give us a list of numbers of people that used to give, or maybe Pirate Club members who quit buying season tickets, or maybe season ticket holders that are in the Pirate Club. Your staffing issues, you got plenty of Pirates out there that are involved enough and love the Pirates enough that will contact people on behalf of the Pirate Club. Just give us a list of names. So that staffing issue excuse can be solved by allowing Pirate Club members that you trust, because I know, again, you guys don't trust me, and that's fine. You can just take my idea. And that's the way to communicate. If it's truthfully a staffing issue, then use volunteers. I guarantee you can find plenty.
Let me say this too. Okay. So we're asking for our fans, right, to give a lot. Season tickets. All right. Pirate Club, correct? Pirates Unite, which I'm not against any of these things. And of course, the Athletic Excellence Fund, I think that's what it's called, AAF, which is our NIL. And yeah, exactly, Jeff. I pay $10 a year. IPTE. So where I'm coming from is, when I give a lot of money, and I'm not going to say that
I pay $10 a year.
Yeah, Clemson's thing, IPTE.
Okay, well, $10 a year. I don't know. In 2020.
Well,
6. What year is this? $100. I pay $100 a year. How about that? But you give anything you can. Particularly, look, right. There is a giving minimum to the Pirate Club of $100 a year, but to NIL there is not. If you want to do a one-time $10 donation, think of everybody. If everybody that goes through those gates at Dowdy Ficklen Stadium would give a $10 donation, we should have We should have a competition with Appalachian State the week of the Appalachian State
Great
game
idea.
to see who can raise the
Yeah.
most money between the fan bases for rev share the week of the App State football game.
That is a great day, a great idea, Kyle, and great for that game, because wouldn't that be cool to have like on the scoreboard, like in the first quarter, second quarter, whatever.
As long as we win the game, yes.
Yes, but we obviously want to win that game. But my point is that we have 4 buckets of money that we're giving to right now, right? And so I gave a nice gift for the baseball expansion. I'm not making it about me. I did get a note from Blaze, who was my Pirate Club rep, so I appreciated that very much. But it shouldn't matter, and I'm not knocking the people that gave big money. But if you give a big donation like I did, why didn't people recognize? And it's not about me. It sounds like it's about me, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people that are making. We have a show, so I can say it. There are a lot of people that are making big donations because they're not a millionaire, but they're still making big donations, and they're not getting recognized. So that's something that bothers me. And again, I don't care if they recognize me or not. I really don't. But there are a lot of people.
There are a lot of people that definitely want to be recognized for giving and want people to. I don't care about it. I don't. I give to everything, but I only give so much.
Right.
But I do give. Pirate Club member, not at the. I won't say what I give to the Pirate Club, but I am not at the minimal level. I give to NIL, and I don't know why we got stuck on this topic, but because Turtle, I mentioned it. But yeah, Turtle, don't. The point of all this is don't take it personal. Unless you're at the top level, most people don't get recognized.
I never see them promoting anything at the football games. Look at how many people are in the stadium. That would be a great start.
You're right. They do a little on the scoreboard, but not enough. Not enough. I mean, we should be aggressive about if we're winning the game big, particularly, or before the game, we should be aggressive about giving to revenue sharing or NIL.
Yeah, and I don't know. We talked about this too, about the 50-50 raffle. We don't know the
legality. Yeah.
Does anybody know the rules on that in North Carolina? But I'll tell you another thing we should be doing. If I'm John Gilbert, and I'm not knocking him, but we should be, speaking of being aggressive, we need to be pounding the pavement in Raleigh to get the restrictive amount that the state legislature can give the state supported schools when it comes to athletics. That is something that's killing us. It's killing us. Florida can give, like USF, for example, they're getting a ton of money because Florida doesn't have those restrictions.
Well, we got some money coming from the lottery that's coming our way.
But we need it from, which I'm not poo-pooing. I think that's great, but we do need to have it from the legislature as a whole.
Do we have, I go in the same way every time when I go to football or whatever. Do we have people set up at every gate at a table giving people pamphlets?
No.
Information? That's part of what you need. Every exit, every entrance should have somebody there at least for an hour and a half, 2 hours to give out information, pamphlets. Here's a QR code you scan to learn more, whatever. And I know it's a staffing thing, but you could find somebody for a couple hours here and a couple hours there. I would think to do that.
We have a Pirate Club staff. We have a board of directors.
Ask for volunteers. I mean, I know they always hit up Civic Group for volunteers, but ask Pirate Club members if they want to do it.
Yeah, somebody do it for tickets or whatever.
Do it because they want to help.
Yeah. But you got to have the vision to say that, and we need to have more. I was thinking about him today, Drew. Mr. Beast, go all in.
Screw Mr. Beast at this point.
He is a loser because I'm sorry, but I'm
not going to go that far. But
here's my thing. He uses our university all the time. I don't care if he gives a minimum to use our facilities. He needs to.
Well, Gilbert talked about how realistically what we're trying to do with them is having a agreement. You can use our facilities anytime as much as you want to for a yearly donation, and maybe that can come to an agreement. That whole I'm going to give $100 million thing. that to be fair, he's not the one that said that. He just didn't
Right.
do anything to stop the talk.
Yeah.
He teased us, and that's what sucks.
Right.
And that's what and that's what for this community, for Eastern North Carolina, and for the university, that's something that clip this. That's something that he should think about. Is he teased a whole bunch of people in Eastern North Carolina? Whether he said it or not, he allowed it to be thought. And it sounds like Gilbert wants to get into something with him where we have a relationship for a yearly donation for him to use our facilities as much as they want. And to me, that sounds fair. I don't know what that yearly donation would be. I'd hope it would be in the millions.
That's the problem. It's not. It's not. I agree with you 1,000%, Kyle. But that number is not big enough.
Just think of the publicity that Mr. Beast got from that rumor.
Exactly.
And how it started, and
it benefited us too. It benefited East Carolina, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen at that level. It's not going to happen at that. Yeah, 1 million. There you go. 1 million, 2 million a year. Yeah, that would help. I mean, and then he could use our facilities unlimitedly. I don't know. I mean, give enough, we'll rename it. We'll rename it to the right now. What is it? The
right.
The boat people. What is it? The Grady White Boat Athletic Complex. We'll name it the Mr. Beast Grady White Boat Athletic Complex.
Or you can name the stadium after him.
Mr. Beast Stadium.
Kenny, I'm sorry.
$2 million is a tax write-off. It's a drop in the bucket for him.
Kenny, I'm sorry if you say it's his money, but he is using the university. I'm so sorry. I don't feel sorry for a billionaire. I'm not against him at all.
Well, I'll agree with Kenny on one thing, and it's not going to help us our calling him names. But criticizing him is fair. Now, saying it's his money, sure, it's his money, but he's earned it honestly. But he did something. I don't think he's. He did a video one time that really pissed me off, and I won't get into that on the air. Mr. Beast, we want your help, and I hope you would find it in your heart to give to the university.
It's like Elvis. It's now or never. Turtle Boy says, where I live, the fire department does a 50-50 raffle, and they make a ton just by selling tickets. That's a great idea. And again, to be fair,
we've talked about it ad nauseum.
Yeah, to be fair to the university, I don't know if there's any legal issues. But all the protein.
We heard there was, Dave, something about gambling on a campus on camp. But gambling laws have changed in North Carolina. So how does it affect 50-50 drawings? I've seen it at the military ball, where somebody walked away, with several $1,000s at the night of the NC State military ball. So, I mean, you not only would it, if it was allowed, be a good fundraiser to go to rev share every football game. But, somebody would walk away with a nice chunk of change also.
Right. So basically, I may have to move churches, Alan, if y'all know we're a good church. But I'm a good Southern Baptist. But I'll tell you right now, if I had it my way and they legally could do it, I'd put a sports book right there at Dowdy Ficklen Stadium. I'm sorry.
There's been a Southern Baptist and a Methodist?
Yes, I do.
You do? What is it?
The Methodist walks out the front of the ABC store. The Southern Baptist.
Close. The Methodist will speak to you when they see you at the liquor store.
Yeah, I've heard those jokes actually. They said Turtle Boy says, heck, they could sell out of tickets at one football game. Amen, brother, for that. Robert Dedrick says, isn't the Town Bank Tower naming naming soon? Mr. Beast Tower. Town Bank paid $3 million. No, they paid $3 million total. Unfortunately, Robert, I wish it was $3 million a year, but it was.
Yeah, we seem to take too little money, in my opinion, for naming rights.
Yeah,
but maybe it's just.
And I'm not against. And let me be clear, Kyle. I'm not. I appreciate Town Bank a lot, but
yeah.
You look at how many times.
I hope they get outbid this time by somebody giving, 3 times, 4 times that.
I like this idea. A-Win, one of our regulars. 50-50 sponsored by Grover Gaming.
There you go.
There you go. I like that, A-Win. And again, I hope if there is some laws, let's change those laws, because They're archaic, antiquated, and we need to make sure that the fans would buy our fans if we can do it. If and when we can do it, we will make a good chunk of change on every.
I'll tell you what, if we can ever get John Gilbert or Ryan Robinson or anybody from the university back on here, well, I maybe we can ask them directly if that's something we can do. And I don't know if they'll know the answer or not, but we can at least put it in their ear.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, we'll definitely have to see how that goes, fellas. Obviously, did you want to talk more about baseball, or we can?
If it wasn't for JR, we'd be able to get them all on the show.
Is that it? I'm the one holding them back.
Wait a minute. How did JR become the problem? I'm going to stick up to JR.
Everybody knows that Gilbert hates JR.
Oh my Lord!
Secret's out. Dang it. Hey, Dave, I did have one more thing on baseball. Not really Pirate. So last season, there's only 35 at-large bids available. Only 4 teams that were not power. What do you want to call them, Kyle? What do we call them? These
baseball should be the Power 3.
Yeah, well, anybody, and I'm going to include Oregon State in that because they're a perennial. They're a national power. So 4 of the 35 teams were non-power schools. Southern Miss, their RPI was 21. UTSA, their RPI was 18. UC Irvine, their RPI was 23. And Dallas Baptist, I'm not sure what their RPI was, but it was in the 20s. So that's why it's so hard.
Those were the only at-large teams that weren't from power leagues last year.
Yeah, 31 of the 35 were from the Big 3, and I added Oregon State. Yes, sir.
Wow, that is very concerning.
It is,
because most years you have the belt with 3 teams in every year. You have Conference USA used to be a multi-bid league. The American, I think, should be this year. You got the new Pac-12 starting next year that you'll have DBU, Oregon State.
I'm going to read this to you real quick, Kyle. So everybody, all the small conferences had won the tournament winner, except for the Sun Belt. They got 2, Conference USA 2, Big West 2 with Irvine, American 2 with UTSA, and then the Big 10 had 4, Big 12 had 8.
Wow,
ACC
the Big 10 had
9.
4.
Yeah.
That is nonsense.
You know why? Because they inherited UCLA and USC.
Good.
And
okay,
Oregon.
Good point.
So,
good point. All right. Good point.
The only traditional Big 10 school that made it was Nebraska. And then the SEC got in 13. So that's why I'm worried, Kyle.
I guess it is the Power 4 now in baseball too. I forgot all about, Oregon, UCLA, USC.
That's why I'm nervous.
And Washington being in the Big 10 now. No, I get you. I'm hoping that's an anomaly that only that few teams get in outside of the Power 4 conferences. We haven't seen that as a trend yet, unless you go read back the previous 2 or 3 years, and then we just didn't realize it. I hope to God not, because I didn't realize it last year.
No, because the year before that, East Carolina got in as an at-large.
Yeah.
I think they had a 24 RPI at that point.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We just got to be hitting on the door of the top 25 RPI, and if we're 20-7, we will be.
I would think so. Yeah, absolutely. And then with the tournament, you would think you would like to think that we would be in one of the top 4 teams, right?
Yeah. Dallas Baptist was 22.
In that situation, we would be.
Yeah. So Dallas Baptist was 22, which means that no team with an RPI higher than 23 made the tournament from the smaller conferences. That's why I'm worried.
I hope that was an anomaly. Like I say, it hasn't become a trend yet, so we'll have to wait and see.
All right, we'll keep our eye on it.
Yeah. So does that make you more worried? So, am I hearing that the margin for error is even
based on last year? It would be if that's a trend, but we'd have to look back at the previous 3 or 4 NCAA tournaments to show if there was a trend already headed that way, or if that was a 1-year anomaly.
Hey, I will say something that would work in our favor is there's a lot of teams struggling right now. Like, so what we're going through, a lot of teams are going through, including like LSU, who's still third most favorite. They have the third best odds to win the whole thing, but yet their record is worse than ours. So, and the RPI is worse than ours. So, maybe you guys are right. Just keep pushing. Just keep getting that number up, little by little. Maybe we'll be okay. I don't know.
Well, we got to, again, as Coach talks about, I know Coach Godwin's talking about some marathon, not a sprint. And so all we can focus on is, like I said, Wilmington. We'll focus on Wilmington. And literally, as the cliche goes, it's one game at a time. And I think when going back to Alan's point way earlier about the intangibles, the little things, I think I just have a gut feeling. We talked about this before. Kyle talks about, like Jenkins being in his head. I think they're trying to do too much. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, they want it so bad, and that makes them play tight, right?
This team has right now, for the lack of better terminology, in my opinion, this team has the yips. They just right now, but it only takes a couple of wins. Momentum in baseball, any sport, is so important, but baseball especially. Teams can get on a roll and things can completely turn around in a game or two. But right now, we're pressing too hard, like playing tight, like Kyle said earlier. Our body language does not look good at all on the field. I don't see kids smiling. Baseball is a fun game, and it just takes a couple wins to turn that around. But the time is now. I mean, we don't have – yeah.
What do you have? Hey, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose?
Yeah, we're getting to the point now. We got to play loose because we got to go. That's just the bottom line. We got to start winning some games immediately.
Yeah.
Hey, before we do leave baseball, we can't not mention Ethan Norby. That was ridiculous what he did. That was definitely his second best outing. No one's going to top the Coastal effort from last season, but this was darn close. So everybody calling for Ethan Norby to maybe lose the Friday spot. I'm sure there are a lot of people.
To who at this point? We don't have anybody else healthy.
Well, that's true. This is before the two injuries to Weber and Van Kempen.
So pitcher of the week.
Ethan's our guy, man. He's our Friday guy, and he's going to carry us. So he looked like he was having fun, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the secret. He was loose. He looked like he was having fun out there.
Yep.
Extra innings player of the week. Who you going with? Said pitcher of the week is obviously Norby. Who you going for the player of the week? Who you got? I know it's a tough week, but we still pick. Is there anybody? I mean, give a bright spot for a player being called.
Who was it? Who did we have last week? I think we had. It was Davin Whitaker, and then I think Colby the week before that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we should probably give it to Braden Burns.
Yeah, Braden had the best series this weekend. I mean, statistically, did he not?
I mean, he had a couple of hits in all three games. Not a lot of runs or RBIs, but hey, he did. He's Braden again. So I mean, I'm looking forward to him. The rest of the season, setting the table for us in the leadoff spot.
A-Win gave a super chat. Thank you to A-Win once again.
Thanks, A-Win.
$5. Let's go.
And if you would also like to get shouted out there on the Sports Objective, give us your money.
Super chats. That's what super chats are all about. Give us your money.
We take that $5, we thumb wrestle for it, and the winner takes all. That's how it works.
Super chat. I'm super chatty.
Let's see. Ethan, All-American self came out. Exactly. Kenny says Brandon. John White says Burris, obviously. Okay, thank you, John. Turtle Boy says the team is deep, featuring 23 returning players and 19 newcomers. I didn't know we had that come back from last year.
Not a lot of starters. But is he talking about football, the two deep?
No, I thought he was talking about baseball. Was he talking about?
There's no way he's talking about baseball. That's too many players.
32. Yeah, it must be football. Okay, is he going football?
Yeah, well, that's not enough for the roster. So I don't.
He's saying baseball. It's only 30 some on the team, bro. 32, 33.
Well, 34, I think, is the act that you can only have, but you can, you can redshirt people.
Now you're correcting it.
And you can grandfather clause. I think there's a couple players.
He meant football.
Yeah.
So, I assuming, is he talking about the two deep?
Yeah, I was
so I mean, guys that didn't play a lot last year, we have quite a few guys returning on defense. We played a lot of guys on defense last year. Who is returning? I was trying to who do we have back on offense besides Brock Spalding, guys?
Kyler Pearson. He's not really a starter. He just comes to mind. Who do we have? That's a good question.
Engelman, TJ Engelman. He played quite a bit at running back before he started. He got a little. He wasn't carrying the ball the best, but man,
your guy, Jaquez Petaway, Kyle. That's your guy.
Well, you know what? I'm anxious to see Petaway in the screen game. Engelman, who I think has got a bright future at running back. I actually like our running back room quite a bunch. Blake does too. Even though we lost guys like Montgomery to Florida, I really don't think we took a step back in the running back room.
No, I don't either. Dylan Lorick and Tyler Johnson are coming back. You just never know who's going to step up. So I'm not discounting, their contributions, but they definitely were not getting a lot of snaps.
Yeah, we did really well in the portal in the running back room.
And the kid from Havelock, Johnny Williams, I don't know where they're even going to put him. He was a running back. I think he's a wideout now.
Yeah, we'll go over the roster when we're more prepared.
And hold on, we would have what's his name back? The quarterback that you always botch his name. The one that started the
Jordy Lowerly.
No, the quarterback that started the.
The quarterback. I thought you said cornerback.
No.
Jesus Christ, Ditta.
Cheston Ditta, yeah. He was coming back until Kyle decided not to go to the bowl game, and then
that's my fault.
It's not.
I'm out of here.
It's not Kyle's fault on that one.
I wish Ditta would have stayed. I'm
not going to throw that on Kyle at all.
Well, of course, I don't think JR's being serious.
He's not. He's not.
Thanks for clarifying. I wish Ditta would have stayed. It really bugs me, particularly him going to North Texas. You just know he's going to go down there and light it up because that's just how stuff works. I do like the two we picked up. I like that they come from winning programs. I like that they were in similar offenses. But, Ditta, again, culture piece, he knows what it's all about. This is just a total rebuild. I have no doubt we'll have a good defense. It's just a total rebuild, and I think the pieces are there. I do think we have the pieces to be a good football team. And here's the good news: we're not the only ones going through this.
Exactly.
Almost everybody else in the American is that was good last year.
That's correct. We're gonna be fine. I'm not worried about that at all. It's the world, unfortunately, we live in with the transfer, the free agency. Is what the transfer.
I look for Army to be really good in the American this year.
So you want Army? They're going to.
I'm not making any picks this early, but I do think they're going to have a big bounce back here.
Yeah, they have a great coach.
They have a returning quarterback. That's important. When they don't have a returning quarterback, they have like an off year. When they have a guy that knows how to run that offense, very efficiently, they do well. So that's a good call, Kyle.
Kenny Curling says Emory Williams is a big quarterback.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's 6'4". I mean, will he win the starting job? I don't know. I know Bubba. I guess he won't mind me saying this. I know at least early on, he thinks that I can't think of his name now. The other quarterback, the Texas Tech Wake Forest kid.
Oh yeah.
Who's our other quarterback, guys?
I'm drawing a blank. I usually know it like.
Good Lord, none of us can name our.
Mitch Griffiths. Mitch Griffiths.
Thank you, JR, for saving us. Mitch Griffiths. So will it be him or will it be Emory Williams? Time will tell. Also, post spring, not only us but just throughout America, those kids that enter the portal that didn't get picked up by anybody, they're going to be waiting to see if anybody picks them up. It'd be interesting to see. There will be additions to roster post spring. There's still kids in the portal. You can't enter the portal. There's not a second portal period, but you can still be signed from the portal if you have roster spots available. And it'll be interesting to see around the country what kind of movement is made post spring. How many of those kids sitting in the portal get signed? Probably not a lot. I don't expect anybody to sign a whole bunch, but um, uh, JR, can you think of any positions that we may look at post spring for who's still sitting out there just for depth?
Offensive line.
Yeah, but everybody needs depth.
Yep.
I like what we did on the O line in the portal.
I do too. Well, that's because we got a guy from Southern Miss. I know you like that kid for sure.
Yeah, I liked him, but even more so, I like the kid from Kennesaw State that was a starter on a conference championship offensive line. And then we've had 3 really good pickups in the portal on the O line. We could use some depth pieces, but I think that's maybe we did better than most teams in the group of 5 is on the O line in the portal.
We could use some quarterback as well.
Yeah, I don't care about chess and data leaving. Bubba says, great news is that Emory can't leave if Mitch wins the job like he could have last year. Great point.
That's right. A great point. That goes both ways. Well, I mean, I guess he could leave, but he wouldn't be able to transfer or play anywhere. So there'd be no need to.
All right.
So,
that's going to be an interesting battle. The quarterback battle is going to be quite fun to watch.
I'm going 9-3 this year. Way too early prediction.
Yeah, too early.
Yeah, I got to do a lot of research on a lot of teams, and there's too many unknowns. I don't know how anybody can make a educated prediction right now on
as we sit right now, we'll go 9-3. I really feel.
I just did this a couple of weeks ago, and I refused to participate.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, what are you basing it on?
Yeah, you just
if you look at the teams we're playing, I would say Alabama is.
Yeah, we went through the schedule, but I haven't looked at App State's roster. I haven't looked at USF's roster. I haven't looked at Tulsa's roster. We didn't play Tulsa this year. You get the point.
Yeah.
So I got to look at all these other teams' rosters, see what they got coming back, see what they did in the portal. Somebody like Temple, I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think they lost as much in the portal.
They've got a good coach.
They could take a big step forward this year. So a lot of things need to be looked at before I make any predictions. I will make one prediction. I would be shocked if we have a losing season based on everybody else going through the same crap we did.
Right. And if you look at it,
if we were the only ones going through it, then I would be very concerned. But we're not. Everybody that was good last year in the American lost most of their team, and many of them their coaching staffs.
That's correct. But I have the Alabama loss and 2 conference losses. That's what I'm going with right now, and we'll talk more about that. Obviously, it's way too early, so we'll keep working on that, guys. Were there other things you want to talk about here in the roundtable tonight? I've got to go in a few minutes to pick my kids up, and I'll come right back. It's really close by, but
we can just close it out when you need to go, unless there's some topic that is pressing that needs to be discussed.
Yeah, obviously.
What is Montgomery left? Right? Did he leave?
Yeah, he's playing for Florida.
Yeah, that's
Florida. Yeah, obviously NCAA basketball. Quite a weekend. Duke is gone. Carolina does not have a coach. We think NC State does have a coach. It's been quite the weekend as far as college basketball goes.
Yeah, Blake said he's not satisfied with making the military game again. And look, we've been there, done that. We should have won in 21.
And I agree with his sentiment. However, that's the wrong word, but close enough. Sentiment on the goal should be to win a conference championship, but I wouldn't put down what you've accomplished. I wouldn't do that because winning those military bowls were special. Having a 9-win team is special. So I wouldn't do that, and that would be my only little criticism for Coach Harrell, and I don't have very many. But otherwise, I love his message.
Yeah, it's time to aim high.
It is time to aim high, but you don't want to. If you fall short, you don't want that to seem meaningless because you've denigrated it. You don't want, Coach, you've talked shit about in the military ball. Now we got to go play in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We don't even care. So you got to be, to me, you got to be careful with that. But yes, the goal should definitely be to win the conference championship. Should be every year, and I'm glad he's saying it publicly. I absolutely love that.
Oh, and here's another thing: possible Jeff Lebo return.
Yeah, I've heard that as an assistant coach.
Yeah.
JR, what are your thoughts and what are you hearing on that?
I haven't heard anything other than what we just talked about in the group chat. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Dave, you hearing something?
Well, I will tell you this. What I know personally, I don't know about the. It makes sense, and I'll tell you why. And again, hear me out on this. I don't have knowledge. I'm just hearing when people are saying the rumor. So I will tell you how it makes sense. How it makes sense is we didn't have. We were a coach. We had a coach vacancy the whole entire year, right? Lebo obviously got. He got let go when Hubert was let go. His wife, Melissa, I know personally, and her sister, Dee Dee, and I went to school together. Melissa is from Williamston. Her parents are elderly. All of our parents are, up there as far as a lot of my friends in the Williamston area. But they're elderly, and it would make sense from the family side of things. I'll just say that to move to Greenville, to work in Greenville, or if even if they lived in Williamston. And I know some realtors, they have Williamston ties. I'm joking, but it makes sense from that standpoint. If he's willing to be an assistant, hey, he had a great run here. I think he had some physical health problems that hurt him the last 2 years. That was not his fault as far as coaching, but he got the hip replacement and things. I don't think he left on bad terms. I think that it was just a health situation. So, having said all that, I'm all for him coming back.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard there was more interest on our, at least early on, I heard there was more interest on our side than it was his side.
And that may be true. That may be true.
What did Bubba say?
He agrees, Kyle, but I think he meant all the obvious of playing for a conference title and probably a better bowl if it happens in a playoff.
Yeah, I do too, Bubba, but I just wish he would have worded it a little different. I love the message. I just wish he'd have worded that one thing a little different.
All right. Let's see. He said it couldn't be worse. That's true. That's true. As far as
we need to hire an offensive-minded assistant coach that can run an offense because Shorts don't know what the hell he's doing from an offensive standpoint, and I think that affects his defense too. So if he can coach defense and be more of a defensive coordinator type, I don't guess that's an official title in basketball, but
that's fair. They do have offensive coaches and defensive coaches.
So I mean, let him concentrate on that and let somebody else run the offense because we have no identity on offense. And you need something to create some excitement. That would at least maybe create some interest from Pirate fans that would get people talking because there's going to be absolutely no momentum for basketball. There hasn't been in a long time.
Clip that. All right, guys. Do you have anything else? If not, let's see.
No.
We own that bowl. Exactly, Kenny. I want everybody to let's try to stay as positive as we can. Let's pull hard for the Pirates this week because let's get everybody, a lot of people. I know it's a Tuesday night. Let's get a lot of people out there rocking. And if you don't have if you're not going like I do, I either sell my seats or I give them to my friend, as Alan knows, and he and I are up there a lot of times in the press box.
Yeah.
So sell your tickets or give them away to somebody.
Exactly. Yeah, just give them away if you're not going to use them. Kills me. I mean, I guess everybody's financial situation. Got to get $10. Just give your damn tickets away. I've given away parking passes to football games. Anyway, I don't understand people. With that said, it's more damn effort half the time. Anyway, tonight Stevie wasn't on the shot. Justin wasn't either. I don't know why Justin wasn't, but I know why Stevie wasn't. His daughter's birthday, Mallory, is today.
Happy birthday, Mallory.
She went to Virginia this weekend to see Billy Strings. And she was coming home tonight. And so he was going to celebrate her birthday with her. So happy birthday to Mallory. I think she is 22 today.
Right.
Thankfully, looks nothing like Stevie. So happy birthday, Mallory.
We love you, Stevie. We still love you. I don't know about Kyle.
He's all right.
Yeah. And Justice says kids, Kyle. He's getting his kids to bed. So anyway, we'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate y'all. And we'll be back We'll try to see about Wednesday night because we have the Easter Thursday, Friday, Saturday series coming up with Charlotte. So Stevie says, thank you, Kyle. But anyway, we'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much. And as always, go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.